Hello everyone and welcome to the PS3 round 10 of the Formula 1 Championship on Apex Racing League. I'm Kevin Joyce and I'm joined with my co-commentator Clive Lawrence.
Hello there.
Welcome all. The track is 3.2 miles, Nürburgring, and we're just going to watch a qualifying lap from, we believe it's Aero Cobra. So we join him on board, coming around the final corner, dumping all of his cars, getting on the power incredibly early. It was up to 6th and up to 7th gear. It was just, he set a time in a 1:23.4 there, so this is his second flying lap on the options. So we believe his pole time was at 23.1. So let's see how he does it. Look how he rolls the car around the slow corners. Back marker getting out of the way. We upshift into third and into fourth gear. Look how early he gets on the throttle. It's one advantage he has over all the other drivers. And look at that, he's 2/10 up in sector 1 alone. That was precision perfect. And taking a wide line on the exit of the curb, up into 6th and into 7th gear. DRS wide open, using a little bit of curves. He's got half a bar left, and look how he rolls the car into the corners. It's lovely flowing lap so far from Aero Cobra. And watch his DRS here. Look how early he opens it in the middle of the corner, and he's well on his way to a fast lap. Taking the apex nice and tight, using all of the curve. Incredibly smooth style and accurate every time with his inputs. And look at that, 3/10 up. Now this final sector is pretty immense, using a little bit more curves, and look, he saved some curves for the exit of the final corner, and look how he takes the chicane. Absolutely perfect. His DRS wide open, a nice tight line. So look how early he gets on the power from 2nd to 3rd gear straight away, and across the line in a 23.1, and that's a brilliant qualifying lap. And we're going to go through the grid now, and Clive is going to take us through the grid.
As we saw there, Aero Cobra, first place, didn't miss an apex by the looks of it, 23.1 epic. Second place, Steam Bradley, 1.1 seconds down. Third place, VTI, 1.19 seconds down. Pretty close there. Aero Viper, 1.2 seconds down. It did start raining at the end of quali, so he managed to lose a bit there. Aero Bachelor down, 5th, 1.2 down. Aero Specialist, he close behind Batch, 1.2 down. Justin, 7th place, 1.4 down. Aero Boom, not far behind Justin, 1.46 down. F1 Maniac, half a second off of Boom, 9th place. The Crocker, 2.9 down, 10th place. Dale, 2.6 down, 11th place. And Ace Meister, 4.7 down. And Blake, 7.2 down with a 13-man grid.
Missing a few runners this time, and just about to start round 10 of the championship. Our cameras today, we believe we're on board with Aero Cobra, Aero Bachelor Dad, and we're also on board with Ace Meister as always, Justin obviously with the PVR, and Aero Boom. So we've a selection of cameras today. And who else?
Yeah, it's looking like a dry race as well, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, looks like a clear run the whole way. What kind of strategy are we expecting today, Batch?
Oh, I'd say it's got to be a two-stopper. I think the options probably last about 7-8 laps, primes 10-11 laps.
So it'll be option prime then by the sounds of things?
Yeah, I would have thought so. Safe option,
so to speak. No pun intended there. Anyway, we're about to start the race, and we've got Aero Cobra in pole position, and Steam Bradley debutant today.
Second place on the grid as well. Not a bad start.
And here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're underway at the Nürburgring. It's a good start from the leaders, and look at that Aero Viper going up along the outside and coming down the inside. Oh, and there's a bit of a touch there. And that's Aero Viper. That looked like a Toro Rosso that just touched him there. And that's we're on board with Ace Meister.
Looked like he took out Specialist as well.
Yeah, so that's a bit of a pile-up in turn 1. And that's very bad for Aero Viper. He's got a lot of work to do to try and reclaim the position. We're looking at Ace Meister, who's attacking Blake. Blake's made a good start. He started 13th and he's up to 8th. So he's benefited a lot. There's Aero Specialist just behind Ace Meister. So it looks like Aero Cobra has got into the lead. VTI is up to P2. Steam Bradley is 3rd. Aero Bachelor Dad 4th. And look at that, Specialist going down the inside of Ace. And he takes
nice.
nice, lovely maneuver there. And he's up
A little bit forceful, but
yeah, it was a clean cut maneuver. This is a replay from Aero Boom, and looks like take us through it here, Clive.
well, Boom seems like he gets a pretty average start, not losing any time, but just misses his braking point.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah, it was such a tight first corner. You miss your braking point, that's going to be the outcome.
Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do now, and look, Aero Boom and Aero Viper down to last.
Yeah.
So they've got it all cut out, and Lee Cocker's got ahead there. And look at him, he's right behind Ace Meister for 10th place. And look at the arrows on Ace Meister's screen. Looks like Lee is going to make a maneuver. Textbook slipstream maneuver up the inside of Ace. Will he outbrake into turn 1? Should be a textbook maneuver. And indeed it is. And Ace taking a wider line. But Lee...
Could he get the undercut?
Lee's just held on to it. Good maneuver there. Clean cut. So...
nicely covered on the exit of 2 really by Lee.
Yeah.
Undercut.
Yeah, very much so. And we're back with our leader, Aero Cobra. Using all of the track available and then some. VTI is just 1.8 behind him, and Steam Bradley is right up behind VTI. So Aero Cobra is trying to make a break for it while he can. He probably knows that Aero Viper who is normally his main challenger, is well away, so he can afford to take it nice and easy. And we're on board with Justin, who's made a good getaway, and he is joining the scrap for P2. There's a bit of a queue forming behind VTI there. And Justin, who has been struggling so far this weekend in the Mercedes, looks like he's about to do a good race. He's got a good clean start, and if he can keep up with these guys, he could be in contention for a podium later on. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of strategies he's going to play out, what sort of fuel mixtures everyone's running. And look at Justin getting right over the curbs, using all of the track.
Didn't want to turn in there.
No, Mercedes has been likened to a truck with understeer, but at its home circuit, it's doing quite well in front of the home fans. So Justin using cockpit view, and here's another debutant, Dale. Also, look at this, he's going to have a go at Elite F1 Maniac. To turn 1, he has a look, and didn't quite get on the brakes as late as possible there. So far the debutants, Dale and Steen, doing a nice job, Clive.
Very nice job, yeah, it's a nice addition to the league.
Yeah, doing quite well, and look at that, Aero Viper immediately getting on the pace straight away. He'll be having his fuel all the way up to try and get through the field as quickly as possible. It should be good to watch him coming through.
He's on the hunt.
Yep, he'll definitely be challenging.
It'd be good to watch him coming through the field, that'll be for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And look at this, he's already up behind Ace Meister. And look at this, he's going to have a run down. Ace Meister goes a little defensive, but Viper is already alongside, and that looks like that's going to be a clean maneuver. Yep.
Pretty much had the move done by the hairpin.
Yeah, pretty much. And he'll be on a right charge for the rest of the race, so that'll be something to watch. And this is Blake.
Oh.
That's Blake, he's disconnected, so we're down to 12 runners. The PSN kicking off a few people on a Sunday evening, and it does do that sometimes. And we're looking at Dale going on the outside of Maniac, up to the chicane in the DRS zone, and
really didn't make all.
And looks like Maniac is spun.
Yeah, something happened there, whether that was lag or not, never know.
No, and that puts Aero Specialist up behind Dale now, so Aero Specialist and Aero Viper should be good to watch coming through the field today. We'll look at this, and there's a bit of a gap between Aero Cobra and VTI now. VTI seems to be holding up steam, and Bachelor Dad in close quarters with Justin just behind him. So it'll be interesting to see what people can manage with tyres and the stints, whether to go for the undercut and then go for maybe 10 or 11 lap stints on the primes. It'll be interesting to see what people can do.
Well, yeah, it will be very interesting actually. It actually looks like, I think Batch has actually gained a little time on these two actually in his first sector.
Yeah, he seems to have caught them up. VTI
so
maybe saving his
He's really
fuel.
pushing at the moment. I haven't seen him miss an apex this sector, which is very unlike him actually.
Anyway, Steen closes on VTI trying to get some DRS off him. And look at that, look at that. VTI seems to have...
VTI's very slow.
He's going very slow there. Behind, and we've lost connection to him, so...
Was that the touch of death from Batch there?
It looked like it, but I think it was another disconnect. So that we're down to 11 runners now. PSN throwing off a few people. So it's up now. That puts Bachelor Dad up to P3 and Steen into P2. So Aero Cobra, looking from the track map there, looks like he's got about a 2 or 3 second lead over Steen, which is quite comfortable. I'd imagine he'd be saving his fuel at this rate, and Steen and Bachelor Dad, as you can see, going between standard and lean. And having fuel towards the end of the race seems to be the popular thing to do on fresh tyres. But other drivers will be pushing hard. I know for a fact I'd say Aero Viper would certainly be having the fuel up, trying to overtake people and try and get the undercut. We're on lap 5 now, so we've only got 25
laps to go.
Yep, 25 laps to go, and another lap or two to the pit stop. Onto the pit stop phases. So Justin there, we keep it in close quarters, just 1.1 behind Bachelor Dad. He's a great effort for him so far.
Doing very well, very well. Being in the Mercedes as well.
Yeah, which is not easy. We're looking at, we're back with Ace Meister again, and looks like he's got, and who's that? That's Maniac.
Maniac, was that?
Yeah.
Or was that Boom?
That was Maniac, because Boom is just behind Ace Meister, and Aero Viper, as you can see, is well up the road from them. And look at this is Bachelor Dad getting ready for a DRS attack on Steen Bradley, going down the back straight. Steen was leading GP2 before he got promoted into F1. And has often to be considered one of the top guys running for them. Here's Bachelor Dad going around the outside into the chicane, and oh, look at that, very textbook maneuver from Aero Bachelor Dad there. Looks like Steen is suffering a bit from tyre wear, as the Sauber's tyres do tend to go off a little bit before everyone else's. We're back with Ace Meister again, and he's got Aero Boom for company. And look at that, Ace Meister's caught up. He seems to have caught up to Viper, and Viper gets incredibly sideways. Look at that.
Oh, that's very unlike Viper.
Yeah, Viper getting very sideways.
Very consistent driver, probably one of the most consistent in the league.
Yeah, and he's already on the attack of Ace. Looks like he's going to retake that position straight away, and indeed he does. Got very sideways off that chicane. That chicane has caused a lot of problems for the drivers this weekend.
It has, yeah.
And Viper is up to P8. So, yeah, that was a handy maneuver from Viper, but that chicane has caused numerous problems, particularly the Virgin and the Red Bull drivers, who seem to have a lower ride height, and the Mercedes drivers as well tend to bounce up on top of that chicane. We're on board with Aero Boom, who is now on the coattails of Ace Meister. Boom, I would be very disappointed at the start. He's in the slipstream. Ace goes defensive.
Toro Rosso drivers don't seem to be having a good day today.
No, much like the Mercedes, it's a bit of a pain of a car to drive, but Aero Boom normally is one of the guys who get the most out of it, along with F1 Maniac, and Ace Meister using all of the road, doing everything he can to pull away. Nobody has pitted just yet. It's lap 6, so maybe everyone's trying to eke it out to lap 7, lap 8. So everyone's, as we can see from the tyre indicator there from Aero Boom, his tyre's going from an orange to a red.
Boom with the DRS, is he going to make it? Oh, maybe not long enough. 7th gear by the looks of it.
Nope. Ace Meister defending well, but Ace has gone very deep into the chicane, and Boom goes around the outside.
Very good.
Textbook
taking advantage of Ace getting it wrong by the looks of it.
Yeah, that chicane has caused problems. And look at Ace, he's getting back in the slipstream, going to try and retake Boom. A nice battle going on here between the McLaren and the Toro Rosso. And down into turn 1 they go. And it looks like Boom has held on to that position.
Was trying to move, he did on Leo.
Yeah, inside him.
Still doesn't quite put it well.
Nope.
Got a bit of a screen freeze there.
A little bit of a jump.
Another typical F1
F1 2011 trait.
symptom.
Yeah. F1 Maniac just behind them as well. And look at this. Look at Justin. He's right on the back of the coattails of Steen Bradley. So Justin looks like looking very, very strong. Steen struggling a little bit on those tyres. The Sauber is a fantastic qualifying car. Well known for its stability under braking and consistency, but during the race it likes to eat its rear tyres a little bit more, so you lack a stability in the medium speed corners. And we're looking at the DRS zone, and here is Justin having a look up the inside of Steen. And can he make it stick? Yes, he can. Just took his racing line and mullers the curbs. And look, everyone's coming in. Bachelor Dad is in the pits. We see Aero Cobra on the top of the screen. He's also in the pits. So everyone coming in the pits now, along with Steen. And here's Aero Cobra.
One thing I did notice there, actually, is how Justin got the DRS and Sting didn't. So Batch has obviously pulled a at least a second gap on Steam.
And look,
while we haven't been watching.
Look at that. Cobra got held up a little bit by Bachelor Dad coming in, and a slow pit stop from Force India, 5.9 seconds, incredibly slow. So Cobra's lead has been effectively wiped out, as we see Justin just coming out in front of Ace Meister, and Ace Meister takes the bollard with him.
No more cone on that corner.
No, and some drivers will want to be very careful because there is an invisible wall just where that bollard does be when you take it out, so some drivers will have to be a little bit careful not to run over it. So Cobra maintains the lead after the pit stops, effectively. So we believe Identical Twins, or Lee Cotter as he's known, has pitted. We believe Dale is also still out there. So Dale leads the race. And we're looking at Ace Meister, Steve Bradley be looking to get by him as quickly as possible. And Ace goes very deep into the corner. Ace still on the option tyres and seems to have made them last quite well, considering that he's keeping up with Justin.
I was just thinking that. Do you think maybe some people are going for the option, prime option?
That could be it. It looks like it by the sounds of things. And there goes Steen around the outside of Ace. Ace will have DRS, but look at the gap Steen's putting on him already.
Yeah.
And it looks like
the difference between new primes and worn option.
Yep, very much so. And yeah, there's Ace with the DRS, but looks like he won't be fit to challenge Steen. Steen has a nice little gap built up. And is that Justin catching Bachelor Dad? It looks like it. And here comes Dale in from the lead. Identical Twins also fits. So that puts Aero Cobra back in the lead, and Aero Bachelor Dad, who is only 3 seconds behind Aero Cobra. So any advantage Aero Cobra had in the first stint. And here's Ace. A good quick McLaren pit stop there, 4.3 seconds it looks like. So Ace Meister performing solidly, no big mistakes. And there's Aero Viper lighting up the timing screens on fresh tyres, as Boom has undercut Ace Meister. Well, I think Boom was ahead anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe he was.
So Boom basically maintains that position. Nice little scrap for P9 and 10. There's good scraps all the way down the field. And we believe Aero Specialists and Dale are scrapping over P5 and 6. We haven't seen Specialist fit yet, presumably he's fitted soon. And we're back with Justin, who is now keeping in touch with Aero Bachelor Dad.
Getting on there, gravel a little bit there, losing a bit of time.
And look at Steen. Steen is going to go up to the outside. And Justin holds on to it. But Steen will be all over the back of him.
They'll both have DRS, so it'll be a race of whoever's got the longest 7th gear.
Yep, pretty much. And Justin goes incredibly deep into the curb. Justin's got a good technique through that chicane. He seems to have worked it out. And Justin now, he's just fallen a little bit away from Aero Bachelor Dad. And Steen is just 7/10 behind him. So it's a good scrap for P2 at the moment. Aero Cobra is pulling away. Looks like he's about 4 or 5 seconds up the road now. He's taking full advantage of the fresh tyres. Probably turned up the engine a little bit. And look at Aero Viper reeling off the fastest laps. He must be in clean air. But having said that,
you would think so.
Yep, you would think so with setting all the fastest laps, but he's doing quite well. And he won't be long before he's on the back of Dale and Aero Specialist, if he hasn't passed them already. So Aero Viper at this rate, and they're not too far away. Just looking at the track map there, they're not far away from this group here for P2, so it's anyone's race for second at the moment. Here we are with Dale, and speaking of the devil, Aero Viper is right behind him. And it looks like he's got past Specialist, either be it through the pits, or a manoeuvre on track that we didn't see. So Aero Viper will be looking to get ahead of him. Dale has his engine on full power, anything to try and defend the onslaught. He's in 7th gear. It looks like he's got a very long 7th gear. He'll be under pressure coming down the DRS straight fly.
Oh, he will, big time. I mean, Viper's not known for being slow, and he won't take long overtaking Dale from there.
Yeah, look at that.
Dale just let him through.
I don't know. I think that was just
because he knew he'd have DRS.
I think so. I think he just pretty much knew the game was up. And his 7th gear, I noticed on the back straight coming over the hill, it seemed like a very long 7th gear. So it didn't look like he could do much about that, in fairness. But Viper taking full advantage and probably using all of his KERS. And DRS and KERS together are a very powerful overtaking tool, along with the epic slipstream you get in this game.
It probably helps one another out actually by, well, helping both out by not holding each other up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well. Yeah. So Dale maybe is thinking long game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in all fairness, it was a good decision by Dale there. I think that was very clever, actually.
Yeah, he's thinking Paul di Resta style. And as we're looking at Justin, who's right behind Aero Dad, creeping right up behind him. But I'd imagine Justin is probably using a little bit more fuel at this rate, because looking at his gears at the end of the straight, it looks like that his top speed is quite good. So maybe he's just using the fuel that little bit more just to keep in touch. But nevertheless, driving that car in cockpit view is no mean feat. So it's been a great effort from Justin, probably his strongest performance of the season. And Steen is just behind them. He looks like he's going to have a go. Is he too far away? Justin also
I
is
think
DRS.
this performance of Justin's actually reminds me of his performance in China, because he did perform quite well there. He was always with the pack that were behind, first and second.
Yeah.
So he's finding it form.
Using DRS and everything just to hold on. I'm not sure what Aero is doing with his fuel at this point, but I'd imagine he'd try and save it in Sector 1. It seems the best fuel strategy for here seems to be, as we can see Justin doing just that, putting the fuel down to lean for Sector 1, because you don't need that power for these tight corners. It just seems to be standard and rich then for the long straights and up the hills, and using cars then to compensate for wherever you can. Steen is hounding the back of Justin. There's a good scrap for P2 here, and Viper will be on his way to catching this group pretty quickly.
I'm sort of thinking Bastard might actually have a lower 7th gear, because even though, like say, Justin, we've seen him a couple of times now, a couple of laps where he's had DRS on Bastard, but he hasn't caught it.
No, and he is.
Bastard might have a lower 7th gear for the better acceleration through it. He's going for a more defensive sort of 7th gear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely, because he hasn't really seemed to get close to the rev limiter. But then again, Bastard has been getting very good exits off this corner here, so Justin's never really had a proper shout, but this time he seems considerably closer. And we see him engaging DRS once again, and he's having a run at Bastard this time. Bastard goes defensive and covers his line very well there, gave Justin no room, but Bastard's gone deep. And Justin, look at the oversteer Justin gets. Desperately trying to hang on.
Very good to control that.
And we're back with
quite easily lost that with the amount of power through those rear wheels just then.
Definitely, and look, we're back with Dale, another one of our debutants. He's managing his fuel quite well, still has got +2 laps. Seems to be using rich whenever necessary and lean to the rest of the lap. And as you can see, Aero Specialist is right behind him. And Specialist, just popping up on the track map, goes down the inside of Dale, and they're nearly side by side, going into the complex. And Specialist tries to get the undercut, but Dale defending incredibly well. Aero Viper has pulled about 3 or 4 seconds ahead of Dale at this stage, so he is now catching the back of the pack for 2nd place. A Specialist is all over Dale, and we're on lap 13 now. So what stage would the tyres be at now, Clive?
They should still be in good nick, I would have thought. Still giving pretty good grip, but obviously they'll be degrading every lap.
Very much so.
But
And look at Specialist.
You've got to feel Dale at the moment. His first F1 race, and he's had both Viper and Specialist bearing down his neck.
And look at Specialist going side by side again.
Yeah.
They will have his job to keep him out of the DRS zone. And look at how close Specialist is.
But fair play to Dale. He's doing a good job.
Going by everyone. Here's Specialist with the onslaught of DRS, and that's an easy manoeuvre there. And Specialist hold on to it.
Just not worth holding him up, is it?
No, definitely not. As Specialist. And look at this. Here we are. We're back with Justin. He's having a look at Aero back to that. Yep. Up the inside of turn 1. Both of them putting in. Nope, not this time. And Steen is right behind them, so the 3 of them seem to be holding each other up, and Viper is now on the back of that pack. So yes, and look, and if you just look at the track map at the top left, or sorry, the bottom left of the screen, you can just see that the other pack gotten too far away. So if this crew keeps holding each other up, and Specialist and Dale play it long game, they might be able to catch this crew, but they've got to work it out. Look at the oversteer Justin's getting.
Just got put up on the curb too much a bit there.
Yeah, not an easy car to manage on high fuel. The fuel will be burning off nicely now. On lap 14, we're just before the halfway point of the race. Just so that you know, Aero Cobra is ahead of Aero Dad. We assume he must be about 6 or 7 seconds, and we've lost Steen. That's Steen gone. So we're down to 10 runners.
One less for Viper to overtake.
Yes, definitely one less problem for Viper to worry about. And look at Viper, he is right behind Justin on the track map. You can just see it there, the little yellow dot behind Justin, and he will have DRS on Justin, presumably. But Justin also has DRS to help defend, so Bachelor Dad has got two very promising drivers right behind him. And look how close Viper gets to Justin using the markers there. Look how close he got to him under braking. And they're onto the pit straight again. So, to let you know who's running further down the order, I think in P5 is Dale, P6, or sorry, Aero Specialist is now in P5. P6 is Dale. And look, Justin's gone wide. That's surely going to give Aero Viper the position, but he's not giving in. And he goes incredibly defensive. Viper goes wide, Justin goes for the inside. It's one line through this corner, and who's going to get? Justin takes the outside. Viper goes to the inside, and it's Viper's surely, and it is indeed difficult for Justin. He made a little mistake, and Viper fully capitalised on that.
Good clean racing there.
Yeah, very good, and that's
Is it just me, or is Viper just scaring people off the track here? He caught up to Steen disconnected, he caught up to Justin outbrakes himself into turn one.
It's a bit of an inferiority complex when you've got air.
Maybe it's his tactics.
Maybe. To be honest, having experience racing with Aero Viper and Aero Cobra, it's a little bit of an inferiority complex when you've got one of these very fast drivers behind you. And you've kind of got, you really, at one point you don't want to jump out of the way, but the next thing you do, you make a mistake, and then they don't need to be asked twice to overtake you, and they're gone through. Very quick. Very quick.
Give them an inch, I'll take them all, and see you later.
Yeah, pretty much. So you've got to defend well. And Justin hanging on to him just a little bit. So Justin not letting him run out of sight just yet. But Bachelor Dad has a tiny gap ahead. Aero Cobra now must be about 7 or 8 seconds up the road in the lead. And we'd be approaching the second round of pit stops soon. So it'll be interesting who's going to go for the undercut.
I was just thinking about the pit stops, because to me, Justin looks like the way he's driving, his tyres are sort of starting to wear already.
Yeah.
He seems to be losing the back end quite a bit in that final chicane. So, yeah, they will be coming up soon. I'd say within the next lap or two, I would have thought.
I did catch a glimpse of Justin's fuel gauge when he briefly checked it. It was on optimum, so he was using a bit more fuel compared to what Bachelor Dad is. Bachelor Dad on lean there, and Viper is right up behind him. And surely when the pit stops come round, I'm sure Viper's used a bit of fuel to try and get ahead. He said a few passes that. Yeah. Definitely. So, but the HRT is an immense car around the Nürburgring. It's got all these sort of long rolling corners that really suit a car with a good front end. But having said that, none of these cars are too bad. The Force India, the Williams, HRT, they're all pretty good cars. So the best drivers will make the best of them, no question about that.
I'm just wondering if Batch is going to succumb to this, to Viper being on his tail.
Yeah, it looks like
it. He is a veteran of the league.
And here, yes, 410, so sure he's got DRS. And there's Batch using a good bit of curves and then standard revs, and he goes deep. Oh. He's gone deep.
He did succumb.
It is certainly the inferiority complex of the order of the day. And look at Justin, he's into the pits, so he's definitely going to go for the undercut. He's definitely going to try for the undercut. But presumably the next two drivers will be coming in on laps 18 and possibly 19. So Justin's got a long way to go if he's fitting prime tyres. He's got to go a full 12 laps, but usually in the final stint the tyres will last that little bit longer than what they would normally. So 12 laps will be just about manageable. And
well, I'm thinking if Batch can stay with Viper, he's going to need to come in right behind him, really, ideally, just so that he's not losing time on Viper's outlap.
Yeah, very important. And there's Identical Twins in P7, and he's sort of out on his own, really. And we believe that the scrap is still going on for P8, 9 and 10 between Ace Meister, Elite F1 Maniac and Aero Boom. So still pretty tight between them, as Batch getting quite close to Viper. Presumably Viper is saving fuel now, because he seems to be quite slow on the straights. Batch is also in running in lead, and look how close Batch is getting with the toe, and presumably Viper is saving fuel here.
Yeah, he must be. After that run he's had the first half of the race, he's got to have used fuel coming from the back of the grid.
He's got a very tall order to try and catch Aero Cobra at that, but never say never.
Not with these two, no.
No. So Aero Bachelor Dad now just maintaining position. He knows the pit stops are coming up soon. Look at Viper. Viper getting sideways, as does Batch. Viper's in the pits. In he comes.
Batch isn't.
And Batch stays out, so is Batch going to try and do another option stint, or is he just going to eke it out to lap 19 and put another set of primes on?
Well, surely with 12 laps to go, it's got to be primes, hasn't it? I can't see the options lasting 12 laps.
No. But look at Dale, he's in the pits now on lap 19, and look at that, he's fitting a set of options. So Dale looks like he's going to try and go incredibly long on these options, or is he going to try and gain track position? So Dale got to the options, so he's 4.4 seconds behind Specialist before he came in. Now that's when he went over the line, so he wasn't too far away from him, but maybe he saved a good bit of fuel as well as Dale, so maybe he could be challenging some of the drivers towards the end of the race.
Quite possibly, quite possibly.
We're back with Bayro Bashidad, who leads the race for the first time.
He was already half a second down on his previous lap in the first sector, so going this extra lap isn't looking good for him so far.
No, the tyres are wearing off quite heavily. Aero Viper just 7 seconds behind Cobra now, so never say never. Presumably Aero Cobra knows Batch goes very wide there. Sign of the tyres wearing off. Using all of the curb and putting the engine on full power, trying to compensate for the loss in tyre wear. You've got to try and compensate on the straights by putting your engine onto full power to compensate for the loss in lap time. Neatly through the last chicane.
Will he come in or will he go the extra lap?
And he's in again.
He's coming in.
He's in this time. Surely he's got to go for another set of primes.
11 laps.
Yep, I'd imagine so. So interesting variances of strategies between. Most people seem to have gone for primes for the final stint.
He's choked primes on his thing. Oh no, he's changing to options.
He's switching to options. That's a very unusual choice. Can he go 10 laps on the options? That is the question.
We shall see.
We shall see indeed. As Aero Cobra retakes lead. And Viper's ahead of him as well. And Justin. Has Justin got ahead?
Batch has lost a place.
Yeah, so Batch by Justin did pit 2 laps earlier. Look at that, over the bollard that Ace Meister got rid of earlier, so
I bet he's loving Ace for that.
I bet he is. And look at Specialist, who's on the back of him. So was Batch tries to get his tyres up to temperature. Specialist is all over the back of them. And a nice little scrap now for P4 and 5 between them. And look at that, Specialist goes on the outside.
Oh, that was a move and a half, that.
Great manoeuvre from Aero Specialist there. Taking full advantage of the worn tyre, or the fresh, or the cold tyre, should I say. And Batch running around. And Specialist now, probably presumably he's got the engine on full power to try and catch up to Justin. So what's Justin going to do? Presumably he's fitted prime, so towards the end of the race he might be under threat from the guys who waited on lap 18 and 19 to change the tyres. So he's got the undercut now, but he's got his work cut out to make those tyres last, and he's a little bit short on fuel. And here we are, the Aero Battery down in there, Slipstream and the DRS against Specialist.
Batch has got to be kicking himself. I mean, from when he was in second place with Viper breathing down his neck to now in 5th place only laps later, and trying to make the tyres last 10-11 laps.
And Batch
don't know what he's up to.
he had a quick look at Aero Specialist, who kicked the wheel on the dirt in the exit of the last corner. As we see Aero Cobra, the purple lap times are coming in, and we should see a rafter of fastest laps from Aero Cobra and Aero Viper, as is tradition with the Formula 1 League. We're back with Ace Meister, and we see he has already pitted for a new set of primes, and we believe Aero Boom and Elite F1 Maniac have yet to stop. Presumably F1 Maniac is in the pits because he's ahead of Boom on the track. So yeah, so that's Ace. Yep, and it's going to be tight between these two down into turn 1. And Ace tries to go around the outside of F1 Maniac. F1 Maniac is not having it. He's staying side by side with them, and he slots in behind, but he goes up the inside. Ace leaves room, and there's a collision and there's contact, and Ace getting straight back on the track. I don't know what to make of that. I suppose F1 Maniac was trying to be very eager and try and make sure that Ace stayed behind him.
Well, Ace did leave enough of a gap there.
Yeah, true. I would agree with that. And
F1 shouldn't have been anywhere near that, really.
No, I think because given his tyres are probably cold as well, but
Yeah.
it was a manoeuvre he surely probably could have waited another couple of corners and had another go. And we're looking here, we're back now with the battle for P3, and this is Justin ahead of Aero Specialist, who has done quite well to haul himself up to P4. He's taken full advantage of Bachelor Dad, who stayed out 2 laps longer on the tyres. Presumably Specialist came in a lap or 2 earlier to undercut him. And he is all over the back of Justin. Justin, of course, going quite defensive. Justin's putting on a great performance. He will not want to let go of this. He's had some terrible luck with some lag crashes and unfortunate incidents this season as Justin. As we saw at the last race in Silverstone, could have very nearly taken P2 and it's a little collision on the last lap, so he'll be very wary of any of that going on. But they have one less lag crasher in VTI today, so they might not have to worry too much about it. But nevertheless, they're still battling away with Aero Specialist now has got DRS. Surely he's going to go up the outside of Justin. And, they both look at Batch, he gets incredibly close to the two of them. They're side by side into the chicane. And look at Specialist, he's got off! He spun surely, and Dale has got, look at Dale, who's right up behind them on the option tyres, and he's going to take P5 straight away from Specialist.
But all that work, and another one.
Look at him on the
field. Become a victim to that final chicane.
Yes, that chicane doesn't like many people today, and Specialist immediately attacking Dale. Using a Faust occurs there, no doubt. And even though he's on the primes, Dale is on the options, so Dale has caught up to this pack on the fresh tyres, but surely Dale can't go to the end on these. Like they can, I know some people can make them last maybe as long as 8 or 9 laps, but presumably 11 laps, 10 laps is a bit too much for him.
Well, both him and Batch seem to be running the same strategy at the moment, although Batch did hit a lap earlier on the first stint. But they both finished lap 19.
Yep. And look at Dale going right in the slipstream of Aero Specialist. He'll have the DRS in him, and look at the amount of fuel he has, plus 2 laps. And presumably the other guys who have ran a little bit quicker trying to get the in and out laps will have maybe +1. And this is Batcherdan. His options are looking quite worn. He's got a long way to go until lap 30. And Justin holding on to P3. He's been Mr. Consistent so far and it's paid off, but Batch is going to have the DRS going down the back straight. And up the inside he goes.
He's making use of those options while they last.
And look at Dale also in the DRS zone of Aero Specialist, so 2 DRS moves in 1 lap. And both drivers gaining positions there. Presumably Dale's got to pit one more time. It's going to be a long call from them. Bachelor Dad, whether he can make it to the end on the options is one thing, but whether Dale can do it will be a mean feat. He's got plenty of tyre left, as we can see. His rear tyre is taking a bit more of a pounding than the front, and looks like it seems to be a darker yellow colour. He switches to standard revs. Although it's really, look at Specialist going straight up the inside, very deep on the brakes. The Virgin, of course, and look at that, he's held on to it. And what a move!
How he made that!
What a move! Fantastic stuff there from Aero Specialist. That was
little bit.
the last of the late breakers. What a that's a fantastic manoeuvre. And Dale will be seething with that. Thought he would have had the undercut on it, but Dale presumably won't be able to go to the end anyway. If I were Dale now, we've got +2 laps of fuel. I'd probably be, while the tyres are still fresh, I'd be heating up that fuel with the rich mixtures. If I were him.
But would you actually run it rich, or would you run it lean, stay in his slipstream and safe side? You don't have to pit again.
True. Well, it depends if he's going to have clean air. That's the question. He looks like he's trying to do that to save a bit of fuel behind Specialist, but I presumably when you get to lap 27, lap 26, shall we say, +2 laps of fuel, if using on rich, you might go to optimal, you might go to -1. So you never know. But it looks like Dale may have to come in again because his tyres look quite worn now at this stage of life.
They do. They actually look more worn than Bachelor Dad.
Yeah, definitely. And sure enough, in comes Dale. And will he sacrifice P7 to Lee Cocker? That is the question. So how far is he behind? 23 seconds did I just see there? I'm not sure of that. Yeah, I think it was. I think it just briefly popped up.
On the track map, it looks like he's just come through the final chicane.
So it's going to be tight between these two, surely coming out of the pits.
Close.
Yep, but Dale will have fresher option tyres, so presumably he'll be able to, might just be able to take P6 back from Lee. And out of the pits comes Dale. And over the start finish line goes Lee. And it looks like Dale has just retaken P6, although the gap is considerably less. We're back with Aero Cobra. I haven't seen much of him all race. Been out on his own.
Pretty lonely race, to be fair.
Yeah, pretty much, and he's a pretty dominant race so far. I'm just look at the difference between, say, Aero Cobra and, we'll say, Dale, and just look how Aero Cobra just rolls into the corners, picks up his apexes. He makes it look so effortless. It's a fantastic driving ability. And Aero Viper hasn't really eaten into that lead as much. He's 7.4 seconds behind Aero Cobra. So presumably Aero Cobra is going to be taking it handy. He's got it. He has surely the victory in the bag just to bring it round. And Bachelor Dad is 6.4 behind Viper. So Bachelor Dad is hoping that maybe a mistake or two from someone, which is quite rare to see these two ever making a mistake. But as we can see, look at the line he takes into the corners, incredibly tight, and doing very well for himself. And here's Justin, and will he be able to catch Aero Bachelor Dad? And Specialist, he's got Specialist for company. So,
well, I think the battle for fourth place is probably going to slow them down. So Bachelor Dad has probably got third place covered really, unless his tyres go off.
yeah.
He's got nothing to worry about really. But his tyres are going to be the main thing.
Yep, and Aero Specialist is right up behind Justin. I do apologise for the coughing. I will get cough bottle onto that, so I won't be clearing my throat as much in the next race. But anyway, back to the racing. Justin is 3 seconds behind Aero Dad, and as presumably Lee must have closed the gap to Dale, and Dale, we were just looking at the track map to see where Dale is relative to these two guys, and Dale's just coming around the exit of the Ford curve on the run down to the Dunlop, so they pretty much have a pit stop in hand over Dale, so he will not be a threat. But now Justin and Aero Specialist fighting for the final podium position, for P4, because Battery Dad is up in the final podium slot, and look at the DRS. Specialist easily eases by Justin, and Justin there having to manage his fuel on standard and lean. Oh, Justin goes very deep.
Now breaks himself again.
Yep,
he's done that a few times towards the end of the stints.
He has, and the Mercedes certainly struggling under braking on worn tyres. A Specialist seems looks like he's got P4 and is starting to pull away from Justin. So so far it's been generally good battles all the way down the field. Anyone catch your eye, Clive?
Well, it's got to be Viper, isn't it? Really, came from the back of the grid. After that turn 1 incident, coming all the way through to second so far.
Yeah, very much so.
That's just an epic drive, really.
Picked off his rivals where he can. He had one or two sliding moments, but he still
he
just raw pace.
Going through that final chicane, didn't he? That one lap.
Yeah, he did a bit of a half spin there. So and look at Specialist using all of the curb, throwing everything he can to draw away from that DRS range of Justin. And Justin is not giving up on P4 just yet.
He's almost pushing too hard. Oh,
Specialist has gone wide. He's lost the back end of the car. And
there was me thinking Justin is pushing too hard. Specialist just goes that little bit wide, spins the wheels up on the curb.
Yes, tough going for him. So we're back here with Ace, and he's got Elite F1 Maniac. And look at Aero Boom is a good bit up the road from him. There must be a pit stop between Boom and Ace Meister. And Ace will be looking to get some points here because we're only down to 10 people, so everyone's going to get points here if they finish the race. And in the relegation battle, Ace will be looking to do everything he can to try and get those extra points, with Lemon missing and Blake has disconnected. And Elite F1 Maniac is certainly part of that Russian battle, and he will not want to be incorporating getting relegated or anything like that. So here comes F1 Maniac. Ace goes defensive, but he leaves a car's width, and an F1 Maniac is up the inside. And he takes P9 from Ace. Good manoeuvre from F1 Maniac, considering the collision they had earlier. It might have been better if he waited and done that instead of going for it on his outlap on cold tyres. But nevertheless, he's up to P9, and it's a decent, good clean manoeuvre between two of them.
When the adrenaline's pumping, the brain doesn't really take over, though, does it? You know?
Sometimes your balls are bigger than your brain. But there you go. But anyway, look at Ace trying to attack him back in the DRS. Yeah, looks like there was a bit of a screen freeze, alright, and Ace had the DRS, but F1 Maniac taking that chicane beautifully and getting himself a nice little gap over Ace. We're coming on to our final few laps now, and presumably Aero Cobra, we can just see in the background he's coming onto the final chicane to start the final lap, so he's got a good bit to go yet. And looks like the race is settled down now. Positions more or less seem to be the same. unless F1 Maniac makes a mistake. I'm using all of the track, everything he can to pull away from Ace.
Just as you say that, he made a mistake right there, but didn't manage to lose too much time.
Commentator's curse, but what have you.
Yeah.
And Justin has got Aero Specialist for company again, so this is not over yet for the battle for P4.
Specialist is caught back up after that spinning again.
And we're on to the final lap, so this could be the last of 2 overtaking opportunities. Specialist goes to the outside, Justin keeps to the inside, and Justin doing everything he can. He is not giving that 4th place away. He wants to hold on to it. He needs this result. He's had a bad couple of races with runs. He's got decent 3rd and 4th places, but this will mean a lot to him if he can get it. Look at Specialist trying this way and that, going left, going right. Just look at the marker on Justin's screen, and that just shows Specialist is trying to get through him every way. Going left, darting to the left, darting to the right. And he is right behind him. Looks like he's going to wait for the DRS zone. Has Justin got enough fuel? And look at, would like to see Justin's curves.
Justin is short shifting as well.
It looks like he's a little bit short on fuel. And look at Specialist going up the inside and hanging it out on the outside. This is going to be a good run to the line. And the leaders should be crossing the start-finish line in the not too distant future. We should be seeing Aero Cobra coming on the checker flag as we come into the final few corners and onto the DRS straight. And here comes Justin using all of the curves. He's got a nice lump of curves saved this time, so Aero Specialist
throw everything at it.
Yep, and Specialist is trying to go up the inside, but Justin slams on the brakes and slams the door shut and does not let him get away with it. And here comes Justin round the final corner, and Aero Cobra wins the race.
He's out of fuel.
Justin
ran out of fuel.
Just cuts out.
Really?
That was a great drive from Aero Cobra. Clive, just take us through the final results.
Yeah, Aero Cobra finishes first, pole to the win, 44 minutes, 36. Aero Viper, after that first turn, Vision only 1.3 behind. Aero Bachelor that 10.4 behind. Justin in 4th. Nice battle, nice drive all race actually from him. Aero Specialist, another casualty of the turn 1 incident, from the back of the grid to 5th. Dale, debut race, 6th place, he'll be happy with that. Lee Copper, didn't see a lot of him today, 7th place, not too bad. Aero Boom, 8th place. F1 Maniac, 9th. And we have Ace finishing in 10th. And of course, we had the 3 DNFers due to disconnects. Steen had a good race up until his disconnect. His debut race was very good. VTI was still looking very strong before his DNF. And Aero Blade didn't really have much of a race.
So that's affected the drivers' standings and presumably the relegation battle as well. If we look at the championship standings, we see that Aero Cobra has extended his lead a further 7 points over Aero Viper. So looks like Aero Cobra is making his mark. Aero Bachelor Dad, the battle for 3rd place. Just VTI has dropped a few positions down to his disconnect. So Aero Specialist and Justin getting the results in, and the battle for 3rd place hotting up. Aero Boom and Lee Cocker fighting out for P7 and P8. And as we look towards the relegation battle, we should see that Dale will be, who have scored good points in his debut. So that would have allowed him. Oh, yes, there he goes. A good haul of points for him. And I don't know if that is entirely accurate. Steen Bradley's on 15 points. I think that was the stage at that time. But yep, Ivertex in 9th, Aero Blake in 10th. So relegation battle hotting up. And Stephen Martin didn't make the race, and neither did Lemons, so they're down for 15th and 16th. So driver of the day, I suppose you've got to give it to Aero Viper. And
for sure.
Yeah, definitely Aero Viper, considering his start. And for a bit of comedy, who would you give the Wooden Spoon Award to?
Oh, I think it would have to go to Aero Boom.
Yeah,
I think
I would agree with that. Corner. It did cause a bit of calamity, so Wooden Spoon Award there for Aero Boom. Obviously the credits. I'm Kevin Joyce. And that's Clive Lawrence, and we'll join you for the next race at the Hungaroring. So see you all then.
Goodbye.
go out, we will be racing here in Monte Carlo. Look, but never stare. And we're away. And it looks like a good start by Pilkey and Bachelor Dad looking for a way through. The Ferrari of Ant Warrior in second place. He's lagging all over the track there.